Okay. Hey y'all, happy Friday. Dang, it's Friday already. Golly. Days are just flying by, child. Okay. Hey. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let's get into this read. Welcome back to my channel. This is Adana, also known as the Afro Scene. And today I'm reading for the Beautiful Handsome Collective. Hello, Collective. How you doing? Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell to book a private reading with me or to shop in my store. All that information is in the description box below. All right. So before we get started, don't forget to grab the copy of this book here. It is called Wisdom Beyond Rules. It was created by me to help and assist the collective with their healing path, journey, however way you want to look at it. Also, this book is readily available for purchase on Amazon.com. Thank you so much for your immense support. And if you would like to be a part of the Wisdom Beyond Wounds group, I need to make this very clear. Please do not come in that group to play or to be buddy buddy and chummy chummy. The group was created to help others who are looking for some form of, let's say you're in a stagnant space in your healing journey and you just need that extra, push to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. It's not a party scene. It's not a hangout spot. It's a community where you're there to actually learn and grow so that way you can be the best version of yourself that you want to be. Okay, so I'm very serious with my group. I'm not gonna play games with that. Also, what else? I think that's it for now. That's all I could think of at the moment. But if you're wanting to join the group, you're more than welcome to come. Just be serious though. If you're gonna play games, you won't be able to stay in the group. I'm being honest. All right. So got that out the way. Let's get into this read here. Channel message is they proved a point or they proved many points and they lost. They proved many points and they lost. So, improving their points or many points that they so called thought that they had here, they proved your power. So basically, they're realizing, and other people around them have realized that you are always been the victorious one here. By them showing or trying to show their proof that you weren't who you say you were, their actual proof that they were showing towards other people became the evidence, and the evidence showed their loss. So, yes, like I keep mentioning to you guys, narcissistic individuals are going to do everything possible to utilize whatever craft or crafty thing that they think that they have up their arsenal or up their arm here, to kind of position themselves as the better one or the superior one here, and they're not the superior one at all. So I broke down a few points, and then I also have some examples to confirm or validate the points that I'm speaking to you guys about, so that way you can get a bigger and a deeper understanding as to why they're doing the things that they're doing here. Okay. So the first one, hi, thank you. So the first one here is they prove the point that they thought they would break you, okay? And instead reveal the exact wound you already healed from. So when you're dealing with someone that is very narcissistic in nature, they tend to go towards your vulnerabilities, or we'll say your unhealed traumas, because that's mainly where the vulnerabilities are, or that's where the traumas may sit in, is in your vulnerabilities. And if you're not one that are aware that you are expressing your vulnerabilities, or also you're unaware that you have not realized that you may have some trauma within your vulnerabilities, again, I always, recommend for you guys to kind of keep that quiet until you heal from it, because the moment that you become healed from it, no one can mess with you, or they can't trigger you. So an example of this will be they brought up an old insecurity during an argument. Okay, let's just say maybe you were struggling with your weight. Okay, just an example. Um, Maybe you were struggling with something internal here, and they were fully aware in regards to what you were struggling with here. But now they want to use that old insecurity or that insecurity in nature, and they're going to bring it up during the argument, and they're trying to get you to have a reaction. So they may try to make you cry or get angry. Let's say you just bought a new t-shirt, And the first thing they're like, oh, why'd you put that on? Oh, that don't look good on you. That don't look good on your physique. You shouldn't do this and you should do that. And they're trying to kind of put you in this space, this mental space here, where you kind of trip out because they're nipping at your insecurity here. So because they weren't able to do this, so instead you look at them calmly because you had already done the inner work that made their wound irrelevant. So again, you put on a new t-shirt or you purchase a new t-shirt and you love the way it looks on you, and that's the only thing that matters. But someone is going to come along, they're going to try their hand, of course, and when they don't receive the reaction that they're looking for from you, they look at you like, oh wow, so you're not triggered by what I said about you? No. You're not triggered by the insecurity that you told me about? No. You're not triggered by the insecurity I may see about you? No. No. The next one is they prove that they could live without you and accidentally show the life they're living isn't one they can survive emotionally. Narcissistic individuals love to hang on to the emotional depths of, we'll say, mature individuals or emotionally mature emotionally mature or emotionally intelligent individuals here. The reason being is because they see you guys as a such as a, again, a game, or they think that they could create some form of a facade within their space or in their mind here, so that way that they can kind of keep you stuck in that position here. So an example would be they left boldly, posting unbothered quotes because they're trying to get a reaction out of you, and then months later they're spiraling depressed, switching jobs, friendships, and routines because the stability that you provided is gone. Have you ever realized that when you're speaking with a narcissist or dealing with a narcissist in this caliber of nature here, that the moment that you realize what you're dealing with, you decide to work on yourself here. And yes, even though it could be weeks, months, even years or so after you've left that person back in the dust here, you see the difference between your glow up versus their glow down, if that makes sense. So, because of them wanting to prove a point so, we'll say, harshly or so adamantly here, the point that they did prove is that you never needed them, they needed you. And because you're not there anymore, it's being shown for everyone to see. So the next one here is they provide, or sorry, they prove they weren't obsessed. And then repeated behaviors only obsessions could explain. So an example would be they told a mutual friend about you, or they'll say things that they never think about you. But if they never thought about you, why are they talking about you to an actual friend or a mutual friend? Let me repeat this. They told mutual friends they never think about you, right? But they're going to the mutual friend that you are aware of and they're having a conversation about you, but yet they say they never think about you. So which one is it? Do they think about you or they don't think about you? Okay. So they told mutual friends they never think about you, yet they're watching your stories within seconds from a burner account. They don't make sense. They don't make sense. Next one is they prove that they moved on, and yet every move they make has you as the invisible reference point. So, an example of that would be they copy your new habits, your new style, your new goals, and even the language that you speak or utilize, whatever, however, all while pretending their transformation had nothing to do with you. So, this is something that a lot of you guys, and I'm telling you now because this is a future, peeking into the future, now that healing is, we'll say, is starting to become in the forefront or starting to become a priority to a lot of the collective here, these narcissists are going to have to figure out a way to keep up with you guys here. So they're going to switch up, they're going to start to watch you more, research you more, they're going to start to look at other people that have actually done the work, and then they're going to try to place themselves in that position, so that way they can still get whatever it is that they need to get. So I'm telling you guys now, yes, healing is at the forefront. Healing is becoming more of a priority for a lot of people. You're going to start to see a lot more people coming out the woodwork. Oh, I'm healed and I'm this and I'm that. Not everybody is going to be healed because not everybody's going to do the work. Let's make that very clear. And secondly, it's important and it's very imperative for you guys to be able to make sure and see, you be able to see who's doing what, like who's telling the truth versus who's not telling the truth, because we're moving in a space now where authenticity is going to be pushed to the forefront. And if a person is not honest with themselves, you should be able to figure out that, okay, yeah, that person is not who they say they are. So they're just trying to tighten up their mask, or they're trying to throw out the old mask that they have and create a whole new identity surrounding healing. Just be mindful of that, okay? Strong warning. Just be mindful of that, because a lot of people who are not on the right side of things are going to use healing as a form of a lure to lure people in. And then once they feel successful, that they lure someone in who's actually trying to heal, then they're going to change up, or you're going to actually see the true parts of them again. So that's their, even though it's authentic to them because they're still alive. So it's still considered authentic because that's who they truly are. All right, so next one is they prove they didn't watch you and somehow reacted to things you never even posted publicly. So let's just say an example. you okay, let's say they're online and you're online and you see their username. They're actually using their real information. But you block this person. And let's say maybe a couple days later you post something online and they may reach out to you, they may text you and they'll say something, something X, Y, and Z. And you're looking at them like, well, how would you know that? You know what I mean? They're watching you intently here because they're trying to prove a point. And the point they're trying to prove here is that basically you mentioned a new achievement privately to one person, and suddenly they're triggered and shading you, meaning they're still tracking you through people. So they'll say such and such. Let's say me and Miss Mary having a conversation. And Miss Mary is the only person that I spoke to in regards to like one of my accomplishments here. But for some odd reason, someone from the past here was fully aware in regards to the conversation that I had between me and Miss Mary here. Well, they're going to come and they're going to say, oh, yeah, I heard about the conversation you had with Miss Mary. Oh, I heard you did this and I heard you did that. So that's just an example here. Next one here is they proved you were the problem. In the moment you left, every relationship they touched fell apart the same exact way. So, an example would be they blame you for ruining everything. And that's one of their famous things they love to say. You ruined my life. It's because of you, because my life is this. It's because of you, my life is that. And that's not the case here, but they'll blame you for ruining everything, ruining their life when their life was already ruined to begin with. Yet their new partner leaves them for the same reasons you did: manipulation, lack of accountability, emotional chaos. Okay. Next one here is they proved you were dramatic and you never were dramatic, or more so in the way that they anticipated for you to be dramatic, and revealed their entire personality, which collapsed without an audience. So they claim that you exaggerated things. When someone speaks truth, it's going to sound like exaggeration when a person is comfortable in their lies. So when you're coming along speaking truth, or just being in that space of being truthful here, oh, you do too much. Why you always gotta say that? Oh, that was too harsh. Oh, you shouldn't say that. Well, what the fuck else are we supposed to say? You want me to tell a lie? Nah, I can't tell a lie. I'm going to tell the truth. And if you can't handle my truth, stay out my peripheral view. Stay out my space. Stay out my state. Stay out my environment. It's truly that simple. Why do people make things much harder than it needs to be? Again, if I can't handle any one of you guys' truth, I'm not going to be around you. I'm being so for real with you, because to me, that just doesn't make sense to me. Oh, yeah, this person's speaking the truth here. Let me hear what they got to say. Oh my God, why they say it like that? Oh my God, it's so brutal. It's so this. You don't have to be around anything that you don't want to be around. It's that simple. But clearly, people are not simple. So they claim you exaggerated things, yet when no one is validating them, they unravel, picking fights, creating stories, and they need constant attention from the thing that you're not giving them. The next one here is they proved they had options and exposed that none of these options ever mirrored the supply that you gave naturally. So they jump into a rebound connection or relationship, bragging about upgrading, but the new person can't handle their emotional demands for more than a few weeks, because it goes back to saying when they move on to their new person, you're always in the forefront of their mind. Always. Well, the collective did this to me, did this for me, and the collective said this for me, and the collective did this, and the collective did that. Of course, is going to put that new person or that third party person in a tizzy or in a mental breakdown, some form of mental spiral here, because they're thinking that they're completely over their past, which will be you here, and they're not over you here, but they're still trying to carry on those memories, or more so the energy that you have supplied them at one point in time, and they're trying to mold that new person that they are connected to here. And when they realize that it's not working, the new person is starting to look at you funny. The new person is starting to look you up. The new person's like, well, what do they have that I don't have? This is how things can get very messy. Very, very, very messy. So when you decide to leave someone from the past, disconnect, break up with them, divorce them, make sure you do 100%. Don't give them access to anything, shit, not even their new person, because this is normally what happens when you leave a toxic environment, a toxic relationship, or a toxic person here. The toxicity is still going to follow them around. If that makes sense, you're wanting to do something better. You're wanting to heal yourself in a positive manner here, and they can't see that. They also feel that your healing is like a false positive. It's not real. That's not who you claim to be. And you don't have to claim to be anything but yourself. If that makes sense, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to validate anything to anyone. You don't have to confirm anything to anyone, because if you're doing it again, your energy is going to speak for you. You don't have to speak. You don't have to say anything, not a peep. Your energy is going to speak for you. And that is what's happening here. Your energy is speaking for you. Oh man. Mm-mm-mm. All right. So the next example, hi Lisa. The next example here is that they proved they were unbothered by you. They proved that they were unbothered by you, and their entire routine changed the second you stopped responding. So an example would be you go completely silent. You just go dead. Communication is it's nothing. It's zilch, and then suddenly they're posting at odd hours, overreacting to small things, trying to bait you with subliminals because your absence is hitting them harder than your presence ever did. I always say this: if a person has to make a subliminal something and they know that they're actually speaking about you, I mean, it's not really anything to get yourself up in a bunch of up in arms here, because if they can't directly face you in regards to the issue that they have with you, I truly feel like they don't have an issue at all. What's the whole point of being or utilizing subliminal text, subliminal posts, so subliminal anything just to make themselves feel powerful? There's no power in that. That's just me. So if I see someone, this is just an example, general statements, of course, if I see someone have an issue with me, but I know they have an issue with me and I see the subliminal post, I don't respond to it, because it's like, what's the whole point of responding to it? If it's truly about that person who they keep claiming they said it is, they'll be able to have that conversation, or they will be able to, you know what I mean? It'll be like a head to head type of thing. And they can't go head to head with you, which is why they're throwing subliminal things towards you. It's like, get away. Ew. Anywho, um, so they prove they didn't need closure, but yet they keep reopening the same wound, hoping you'll come fix it. So you are the topic of discussion. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years. There are some people. My grandmother, I used to have a one on one intimate conversation with my grandmother before she passed. And she told me that she had a man, and I think it was like maybe 50 years or so, that once she left, she said that man still kept trying to like reach out to her and like call her and to, things of that nature, because he realized that he lost a really great one surrounding my grandmother here. And it just goes to show that when people do lose something really great, that it tends to stick with them for the rest of their lifetime or the rest of their years that they're living here. And also, when they see that you're moving forward and you don't want anything to do with them here, it also puts them in a downward spiral here. So they're expecting for you to give them closure, but you don't have to give them closure. You were never going to get closure from them in the first place, which is why you had to leave in the way that you left, however way you left. So an example would be, they'll say something like, I don't care enough to talk about it. Yet months later, they're sending emotional messages at 2 a.m., still stuck in the same argument. Or they'll reach out to another person. They say, I'm over this. I'm over this. Okay. You over it. Clearly, people can tell you're over it. But people can tell that they're not over it. And instead of coming to you again with the issue at hand, they can't come to you with the issue at hand because 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, there really wasn't an issue to begin with. They're the one that created the issue. So they're the one that have to sit and fix the issue. And they don't know how to. Next one is they prove you never mattered and their life hasn't had a stable chapter since you exited. Okay. So an example would be after you left, suddenly their finances fall apart, their friendships dissolved, their health declines. Everything that stayed afloat because of your emotional labor collapse. Yes. Have you realized that when you're in a space or you're in a environment with a narcissistic individual here, that you tend to put in overloads or we'll say put in overtime when it comes to your emotions. And once I've realized that they want you to work hard to give them something of yours, which is your emotions here, it becomes very labor filled or becomes a lot of hard work because you're trying to make sure that they're good, give them compliments. Oh, you can do it, and you're so this and you're so that, and they just eating it up. And it's like they're not doing anything with what you're giving towards them here. So when you like pull away, you realize, like, you know what, I'm not doing this BS no more. Why in the hell am I sacrificing myself by giving you my emotions or giving you compliments or trying to make sure you good, trying to put you in a space of positivity and all I'm getting is just feeling tired, lethargic, I'm drained out, I can't focus on myself. I ain't doing it. So yeah, you gonna have to learn to put you first, collective. Okay, let me drink my tea. Give me 1 second. The next one is they prove they were over you. And then use someone else's body to fight battles with your ghost. An example would be they treat their new partner as if they're competing with your memory. Mhm. Constantly comparing them to you or molding them into a version of you that they can control. And this is why the third party or the new person becomes a third party because the new person has to prove to the person that you disconnected from that they are the better choice or the better version or whatever. So, this is where the obsession comes in or the comparison comes in when they're with a new person. The new person is watching you and they try to figure out, oh, okay, the collective wear they hear that like this. Let me do that. Oh, the collective wear a t shirt like this. Let me do that. Oh, the collective do this. Let me do that. Let me do that. And they're willing to fill all of the void of the karmic here to satisfy them, and it doesn't work in that way. It collapses the connection between them and the new person or the third party. The third party becomes a third party when they realize that they cannot compare themselves to you. You can't compete where you don't compare, and it is what it is. They can't compete with you, and they damn sure can't compare with you. It is what it is, and now they're realizing that here, and it's causing a huge strain, mental strain, and a physical strain, emotional strain as well too, to where the new person feel like that they can come in and kind of like cause some form of something towards you here and it's just not happening. They proved you weren't special and yet every story they tell comes back to you as the villain, the threat, or the benchmark of what they lost. Let me repeat that. A narcissist believes that they proved that you weren't special, but if you weren't special they wouldn't be speaking about it, right? If there's someone I actually don't care about, I'm going to talk about it once, probably twice. Probably twice is pushing it with me, maybe one time. And then it's done. I'm a Scorpio through and through. So when I'm done with you, I am so done with you. It's like you don't even exist. Already had the mental funeral and everything. You don't exist. Cold. It's like shit. So when I'm done, I'm done. With that being said, they prove you weren't special. And yet, every story they tell comes back to you as the villain, the threat, or the benchmark of what they lost. They giving you special treatment. Shit, they giving you energy. The little bit of energy that they have left that they can utilize for themselves, they giving it to you. Whatever energy they give to you, transmute it and turn it into something greater. So an example would be people you barely know repeat stories about you because your name is still the centerpiece of their conversations. People that you barely know or people that you don't know at all is having conversations about you. And then when you realize what it is, it's like, oh, why am I worrying about somebody that I don't know? They get upset about that. So people you barely know repeat stories about you because your name is still the centerpiece of their conversations. The next one here is they proved they had nothing to hide, but yet they still panicked when the truth started breathing down their neck. Example would be the moment someone asks for receipts, timelines, or facts, they get very defensive, they get very angry, they get very evasive, proving transparency was never real. So what exactly is transparency if it's not real? From their point of view, can anyone help me with that? They're trying to prove to other people that the things that they were saying was true. Okay, whatever, or it was real. But the moment that transparency starts to come up or starts to show itself here, they're not able to confirm or to validate what they said was completely true. So again, if they keep saying that they're so truthful, then they should be able to be very transparent because that's what transparency is. It's the truth. It's clear. It's open and shut. It's clarity. It's like, wow, it's in your face. Okay, that's what it is. It's the truth. They prove you were weak and the universe responded by elevating you in ways their ego could never withstand. An example would be so after they mocked your healing, oh, you ain't doing that for real. That's fake. You don't believe in God. Oh, that's stupid. That's this, that's that. This is the type of shit that they say, right? Um, so after they mock your healing, your life leveled up, your energy glowed differently, and opportunities start to flow in for you because you did the work. Now, all while their life becomes stagnated, or it has become in a or is in a stagnant situation here. So they prove you were weak and you proved otherwise. You didn't even prove it. You just did it. You don't have to prove anything to anyone because when it's within you, it's going to show. So proving for me, in my instance, my perspective here, I think having to prove yourself to other people is a crock of shit. Why do you have to prove who you are to another person? Because that's telling you or telling them that they don't believe in you. And who in the flying F cares if another person don't believe in you? Because yet again, if they don't believe in you and they're telling you, oh, you need to prove it, you need to prove it, I'm not proving who I am to you. Is either you accept it or you don't accept it. It is what it is. The only thing I need to prove to anything or anyone is me. That's it. That's all. So they proved a point, and the point was this: you were their mirror, their mask, and their downfall all at once. Let me repeat that. They proved the point. Yes, they did. They proved many points. And the point that they proved were you were their mirror, their mask, and ultimately their downfall all at once. So when you walked away, everything that they created or constructed, the persona, the confidence, feeling superior towards others, it actually crumbled, it dismantled, it broke down. It was destroyed because you were the only one keeping the illusion alive. So when you realize that you were in an illusion space or an illusion state and you literally whisk it away or clean it away, it's like cobwebs. Because sometimes cobwebs can give off that space of illusion. Sometimes you're not able to see the cobweb unless you're directly in it. And I know we have had many many occasions when you're walking outside and you're not expecting a goddamn spider web to be right there, but you can feel it, if that makes sense. And when you feel the spider web, it kind of feel icky. I don't know, I guess that's just me. It be feeling icky. But sometimes after the storm and after the rain, and we all know spiders use spider webs to trap their prey or their food here. So there's some times where we get lucked up or get lucky here that after it rains, you can actually see the drops, the water drops sparking on a spider web, and you can kind of more so bypass it or kind of get underneath it or whatever you need to do. So that way you don't get trapped in that extra spider web. And I strongly feel from this perspective here that with this narcissistic individual here, a group of people here, they wanted you to be trapped in their web here. And the moment that you weren't going for that, you destroyed it. You exit. Look, transition. See, yeah, transition. When you transition out, they continue to pretend that everything was a-okay. Again, I would never understand how another person, even if they are a person, because they might not even be human. That's another story, right? But another person or human really truly think in their deranged, sick, twisted, insidious mind that they have control over another person. I strongly feel that is so fucking laughable to really think, like to sit and to think, and they like, yeah, I got control of the collective. When the whole time you had the control, the ball was always in your court. The ball was always in your court, but of course they wouldn't understand that. They wouldn't even realize that. They wouldn't even recognize that because of the illusions that were right in front of their face. So with transition and pretending here, this person is still trying to create a space where the transition is not going to happen fully or is not going to be successfully um confirmed that they were in a space of an illusion here. So they have to continuously pretend that everything is a-okay, but deep down inside they are so confused and heartbroken. So- they're heartbroken and confused that they can no longer pretend. They're heartbroken and confused that they can no longer pretend. Ain't that something? Oh man. Mm-mm-mm. We got the thief here. Have you ever seen the web of a black widow and a brown recluse spider? No, I have not. It's a thick web. Mm-mm. No, I have not. I haven't. I'm not a spider fan. If I see a spider, I go the other, I go the other way. Like, oh, okay, you got that. So we have plotting here. So, a thief, a thief of time, a thief of joy, a thief of success, a thief of all of the great things that benefits you, that complements you. Okay, so take that how that resonates. This thief here is heartbroken and confused because they can no longer pretend. And because they can no longer pretend, they're attempting to plot on the situation. Let them. Let them. Let them. Because they want people to see them as such. They feel like with the illusions here, if they create some form of a powerful illusion, but an illusion is, I don't know, maybe it could be. Can an illusion be powerful? I mean, of course, there are many different aspects in regards to what it takes to make something stick in regards to an illusion. So maybe, yeah, but that's another story here. But that was their goal here, is to make their power much more bigger than what it was, and it wasn't anything. We have self-control here. Yeah, self-control, which is what you have or you're soon to have, or you're getting in a space where you have, and they're so jealous of your self-control. They're so jealous of it. Nothing that they can do. They can't push you, they can't pull you, they can't do anything to you. You just sitting there like, oh, okay. You finished with your tantrum. You ever saw a narcissistic person in a tantrum? It's so fun. Like for instance, instance, my ex-husband here, he's a big narcissist. I call it the Grand Pumbaa, that motherfucker, right? And there'll be times where I just sit and just chill, whatever. I like music, so I'll have my headphones on. And when he don't like the way that I respond to him, so he'll say something to me, and if it doesn't sound right to me, I'm not going to respond. And he didn't like the fact that I will always kind of like stay quiet or whatever and just not really respond to him. But there'll be times when I would. But in this instance here, a particular situation, I didn't respond to him. And he just went into like this full mode tantrum. I turned off my earphones, took it down, and I just watched him. And I mean, crying, ugly cry, and everything. And I just watched him, and I just started busting out laughing at him. And when he realized I was laughing at him, he stormed out the house, and he was so mad. And I followed him out the door. I followed him out the door and continue laughing. For the guy. There's no rest for the wicked. If you're going to be wicked around me, I promise you're not going to get any rest. I'm telling you, I will upset your spirit. You would not get a rest with me. If you coming over here restless, I'm so for real with you. Man, I laugh until I cry. He was, he didn't know what to do. He was pissed. Oh well, we got sneaky here. Scorpio is here. Take a hot resin. You could be a Scorpio. They could be a Scorpio. We have anxiety here. So there's a low vibrational Scorpio that has some form of anxiety here. There's too good to be true. Spiritual awakening is in reverse. Oh, that's funny. This is what you do with fools and clowns. You laugh at them. Since they want to put on a show, because that's what fools and clowns give to you. They're willing to always put on a performative show. Okay, let them and just sit back like, you dumb fool. Call them the things that they are. Oh man, that would hurt anybody's ego. I'm for real. Take out resumes. It could be a mature man here. But a low vibrational mature man, their ego is kaput, very upset. Because they feel like this is no laughing matter. It is a laughing matter. Listen, if a person can go outside and represent themselves as a clown, as a fool, then they have rightfully so earned that title in regards to how they want to perform out into the world. So, yes, it's very funny, it's very comical. If they don't want us to laugh, then stop acting like a fool, stop acting like a clown. It truly is that simple. Oh, yeah, they're laughing at me because he was my ex-husband used to call people up all the time, be like, yeah, she laughing at me and she won't listen to me. And I told him one time, I said, who in the flying I said the F word. And I said it very strong to him. I said, who in the are you to well, I said, who in the fuck are you to trust, to look up to? Yeah, I destroy that man ego. He not a man, but y'all catch my drift. We got mature man, or sorry, mature woman here, mature men. So it could be a mom and dad that she may have issues with. I never respected him and he hated that because it was nothing to respect. I still don't respect him to this day. You know that. Anywho, we have mature man and mature woman here. You may have had to cuss out a mother figure. Hey, you may have to cuss out a father figure. Maybe both. Take it how it resonates. But they know not to play with you. They know that. Somebody could be 56 years old, could have been born in 1956. Somebody could live off of 56th Street or Avenue or 56th Place. Could be 56 Boulevard if that's a thing. Again, take a high resume. Somebody live off of Martin Luther King Boulevard. We have bad health and also poverty. Mm. Bad health and poverty. Okay, so this is what they are expecting at the end. Ah, so this is what's being gifted to them by the universe here, is that for the rest of their days they're going to be in poverty and bad health if bad health don't take them out. If bad health don't take them out, they're going to be living a life of a lot of hardship, a lot of pain and hardship, all because they would not leave well alone. You are well. You're always going to be. As long as you place yourself in that space, you're always going to be well. And they refuse to leave well alone. Okay. So they hit the jackpot of poverty and bad health because that's where they wanted you to be in. Oh, and you ain't, you shouldn't, you shouldn't. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. And all they coming around you is nothing but buffoonery. That's all they coming around you with is buffoonery and foolishness. And they're bringing it around other people too, and other people are tired of their buffoonery and foolishness. Some people are repulsed by them. You could be repulsed by them. When you hear their name or if you see a picture, you be like, yuck, literally. Hey, it is what it is. That's the truth. For the ones that resonate. See, look, humanity is here. People are repulsed by them, like, yeah, you're acting like that. And it's bringing a lot of shame to them because they don't want their community or their peers to see them as such. But yet again, going back to my notes, they proved you weren't special. They said that you weren't special, which we all know that you are. Clearly, if you could be the topic of conversation every day, day in and day out for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, oh, baby, you doing something right. Huh? I said, oh, baby, you doing something right. If you weren't so special, like they keep saying that you weren't, why is it that every story that comes out their dirty, nasty minded mouth, their potty mouth here, every story when they open up their mouth, they tell comes back to you as the so called villain, the so called threat, or the benchmark of what they lost? How were you a threat to them? How? Thank you. How were the collective a threat towards the karmic or the narcissistic individual? I can see the villain. Who cares? Yeah, be the best villain that you could be, the sexy villain or the most handsomest villain. Okay, cool. Then they also states that you are the benchmark of what they lost. They've lost a lot. To be honest, you were the benchmark. They were holding them or sustaining them to ensure that they don't lose more or lose everything again. To be honest, you were the anchor that stopped them from sinking in life. You were the anchor that stopped them from sinking in life. They knew this. So if they knew that you were the the catalyst to keeping them staying afloat, why did they think it would have been okay for them to talk ish about you behind your back? Why did they think that it would have been best for them to attempt to position themselves as if they are superior? How is it that they are so-called superior to your superiorness of self? Make that make sense. Because if they were superior and you were superior, that two energy could have come together, combined, and it could have made something really great. It could have turned out into something spectacular, fantastic. If I feel I'm superior in my life and that's how I operate, and I do, and you feel that you are superior and you operate that in your life, but it's a healthy space of feeling superior within your life, it's going to mesh well together if it's coming from a healthy space or a healthy standpoint in the situation. It's going to do well together. You feel good, I feel good. Okay, boom. Now you lifting, both you being lifted and they being lifted. No. They wanted you to feel inferior to their superiorness. What well, they never were superior. They never were. So again, they prove you weren't special, but yet every story they tell comes back to you as the villain, the threat, or the benchmark of what they lost. They try to blame you for why they are losing what they have lost, but yet it's their issue or their reason why they have lost what they have lost here. They don't make sense. They proved they were over you and then use someone else's body to fight battles with your ghost. Let me repeat that. They proved they were over you and then use someone else's body to fight battles with your ghost. You're not there anymore. And they need to feel like you're there. So if they have this other person, that person becomes the punching bag. So they treat their new partner as if they're competing with your memory, constantly comparing them to you or molding them into a version of you they can control. I highly advise that when you disconnect or separate, break up, whatever, divorce here, change your number. I highly recommend that. Leave the past in the past here. Because when someone is scorned that you left them and they are aware that you left them, they're going to bring as much people as they can in. And again, this is how third party situations come up. Love triangles pop up. There was a woman in Chicago. She was taking her child to school. I think he was about 6 years old or something. They just made her arrest with the lady. And she apparently or allegedly broke up with her child's father, and the child's father had a new woman, brought the new woman up to the child's parent school and unalived her, pew-pewed her and unalived her in front of a crowd while the woman was taking her child to school. Perfect classic example. Um, she just got life without parole or something like that. So perfect example that when you break up with someone, you have to break up with everything that correlates to them. All of the energy, all of the experiences, the memories, release it, dead it, disconnect from it, bury it, and never, ever, ever bring it back up again. Because they're trying to see if there's a crack in between your emotions where they can kind of weasel themselves in. And if they are successful, then you're going to start to hear about, oh, well, this one said this, and nobody has time for that BS. If people want to be toxic, okay, cool. Let them be toxic. But don't allow their toxicity destroy what you're trying to build for yourself, is what I'm saying. They want to be toxic, let them be, because everybody has their own free will and they're going to do what they want to do. But you cannot surround yourself with toxicity and wanting to succeed. You're going to have a hard time doing that. So, in order for you to succeed 100%, you got to release all the fat, trim all the fat, shoot the cancer, the origin of it. So that way you have all that you need to become successful for yourself, if that makes sense. They can't go to family, whoever this is, friend, foe, lover, ex-spouse, whoever, however, they can't go back to family because you cut family off. See, the narcissistic person always tend to start with your circle, your social circle, but the social circle that they start with is always toxic in some way, shape, or form. It may not be blatant in your face, but there's always some form of proof or confirmation that can validate what you have been feeling from before. You may not have had like concrete physical evidence surrounding, the shift with things, but when you start to realize that the shift is actually starting to happen and you're starting to get more and more concrete factual evidence, you cut everybody off. No one was exempt. You cut every mouth off, every last one of them off and had them stuck just like this. There's only one spider that can be on a spider web. One spider. I don't think I've ever seen two or three or four other spiders ever, we'll say, cohabitating on a person or a spider's web. And that's what this narcissistic person tried to do. They tried to group all that they can to get them stuck in this web or to work from this web. And when you realize that you're bigger than the web, you destroyed it. Thank you. You destroyed it. Yeah. The protection of your peace. It's what destroyed them. You protecting your peace is what destroyed them. See, I don't think people understand that peace, having peace is a superpower. Yes, it is. You ever been in such a peaceful state that no matter what people try to throw towards you, hurl towards you, speak about whatever, it just does not affect you? That's a goddamn superpower. Having peace is a superpower. And a lot of you guys are starting to, you're starting to see that your peace is protection. Despite you being in a very chaotic environment or situation, and all they kept throwing toxic, 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 and toxic, and that's all they kept throwing towards you. And you prayed, cried, dreamed about it, whatever you did. But peace was like, okay, you want this peace? Here I come. And it finally sat right in front of you. It finally sat on your lap. I'll put it that way. It finally approached itself to you and it guided you out of this very sticky situation, not only that you can see, but the thing that they truly didn't want is that everyone is seeing. Everyone is seeing the peace within you. Everyone is seeing just how great you have emerged from this ordeal. It's like Jack and the Beanstalk. Jack wanted to buy, I think he wanted to buy, I think he had two cows or something like that. Let me look it up. Hold on, let me look it up. But it's like the beanstalk. You just put the bean in the dirt and then it just kind of shot up really quickly. And it's just a sight to be seen. We're like, oh wow, do you see this beanstalk? It was like yesterday it wasn't there, and the next day it's just shoo. So let me look up the synopsis around Jack and the Beanstalk. So it's a fairy tale about a poor boy named Jack who traded his family's last cow for magic beans. When a giant beanstalk grows overnight, Jack climbs into a land in the clouds where he steals a goose that lays golden eggs and a magical heart from a giant. Jack eventually escapes the giant by chopping down the beanstalk, unaliving him, and using the treasure to help his mother. Oh, okay. Huh. All right, we won't be able to use all that. But so Jack's okay. Jack wasn't nice. I can't use that. I won't be able to use that as an analogy. He wanted better for his mother. Maybe I can. Let me think about it. Jack wanted to help his mother out of hard times. And he decided to go against his mother's wish and to sell the cow to get some form of magic beans. We're going to look at that as a narcissist here. So when the narcissist realize that, because they think everything's so magical that they can utilize their magic to change things in a way they want to see fit here. And when Jack utilized or got the beans here, planted it in a way where he was expecting some kind of extravagant something, an outcome here. But to be honest here, so it says when a giant beanstalk grows overnight, Jack climbs into a land in the clouds where he steals a goose that lays golden eggs and a magical heart from a giant. Jack eventually escapes the giant by chopping down the beanstalk, unaliving him, and using the treasure to help his mother. To be honest, he didn't really get it in a positive way. There's more to the story. I can break it down. But from how I'm perceiving this here, I don't think Jack was nice. I'm being so for real with you. Yeah, the original intention was pure at one point in time or authentic. But when things turn left here, he kind of had to do what he had to do to kind of protect what he has taken. And that's what Jack did. They did have cows. They did have something that could supplement them or that could help them survive through, eating and things of that nature here. And they decided not to. More so, Jack decided not to. Jack decided to utilize his mother's cows in lieu of some form of a quick something. And that's what the magic beans were. So putting it in this way here, Jack will be considered the narcissistic person who utilized the beings as such because they were looking for a quick come up here. And when they realized it was another world or another perception, because when the beanstalk grew, another perception grew, right? They're getting an aerial view or a new perspective from how they're seeing the situation. So when Jack realized that there was another world or another point of view that they saw, he realized that there were golden eggs in a magical heart from the giant. Who's to say we don't know what the giant is? We don't know. But anywho, he went against the giant here to take what the giant have for themselves here. And who's to say? Let me keep reading. Hold on. It says Jack climbs the stalk in hopes of finding food, but they had food. The cows were a point of food for many different ways. It was. I don't know. I ain't liking Jack in this story. I'm gonna be honest here. I ain't liking Jack in this story now. I'm just not. We have the moon here. Could be a mother figure you're dealing with. Could be a cancer sign. Um, I'm just not liking this story about Jack. I'm just not. Yeah, we are the giant. Him and the mother was the narcissist. I wouldn't consider the mom to be the narcissist. I just think that the mom wasn't able to see what she had at the time, which were the two cows, and she weren't able to perceive it in a higher perspective of things to realize that she could utilize this cow in so many different ways. They can get milk, they can get meat, they can get a lot of things from the cow, but she wasn't able to see it in that way. So again, Jack was able to score these magical seeds by just giving away the actual food or nourishment that they had in front of their face here and try to utilize it in that way. So when they got the quick microwave results here, they realize, well, then shoot, let me just go ahead and use that. And then they try to infiltrate another person's world, like view or perspective here. And it's like it caused a chain reaction. Mhm. Apple's in reverse. Hey, unique. Apple is in reverse. Hmm. Trying to take from people, trying to deplete them of their time, their energy, and their source here. And this person thought that they were going to be successful here. And the only thing at the end that they became successful with was just destroying themselves, running down their time, putting them in a space of their health not being in the best. So that's what's being revealed here. So Cool Karma states on YouTube he was an overcomer though, able to push through adversity. Um, but it came with a price though. Even though, so I do agree with you somewhat respectfully, but he was still willing to take from another person to supplement or to kind of like line his family pockets. Jack was. Like he didn't care about how far he was willing to go to ensure that his mother was able to get whatever it is that she needed. But the thing is, they already had what they needed. It was right in front of them. The two cows is what they had and what they needed to sustain whatever it is that they were trying to sustain or sustain. And they thought that they can get more by, in this instance, this perspective, utilizing magic seeds or magical seeds to get something pretty quick. And I don't know how the ending is. I will sit down and do my research, but just from what I'm seeing from the story here, the adversity came with a price. And these narcissistic individuals, this is what they pay with. Their life They think their life comes with a price. Yours don't. Your life is priceless. They don't see it in that way though. So despite them, yes, I do agree with you in regards to they came through adversity, but it came with a really, really bad price at the end of it. And in regards to this narcissist here, the price that they have to pay for and with is bad health that they are stuck to. Mm-mm. Look, funeral dress. Betrayed. They betrayed themselves. They betrayed themselves attempting to betray you. They betrayed themselves. They betrayed themselves, attempting to betray you. And look what it got at the end. No fruit. Yeah, that's what they got at the end. No fruit whatsoever. Baby. Mm-mm-mm. Sucks to be them. Shame. Their betrayal to themselves brought shame. It brought shame to them not being able to be fruitful or abundant. Their family tree is not abundant. Their family tree is not fruitful. And again, you were the anchor that were sustaining them to be fruitful, to be abundant. They brought their own shame onto themselves here. And everyone can see that. Well, I thought you said you was working on yourself. Well, I thought you said you was doing this. I thought you said you was doing that. Looks can be deceiving, right? So look, judgment. So when it came time for them to be judged on the labor or on the things that they keep claiming they said they did, this is what was shown at the end. They had nothing to show for it. So clearly, again, la di da. In proving their point, they proved your power. Their proof became the evidence, and the evidence showed their loss. This is what they lost. They lost the fruits of their labor. They never had any fruits to their labor because they weren't fruitful in their labor. So this is why it's your fault. It's your fault. It's not your fault. You're not responsible for other people's irresponsibilities because they were very irresponsible to begin with. What the they got to do with you? So because they're irresponsible and they don't want to do what they need to do or what they should be doing, that's your fault? No, it's not. That's their fault. And that's what's being shown here. So when you realize it wasn't your fault, now you're in a space of peace. Now you're protected with nothing but peace that surrounds you. You're peaceful, they're getting sicker by the day. Mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, etc., etc. They're getting sicker and sicker by the day because of their lies. And their lies had no boundaries. Okay. Whatever. Their lies had no boundaries. Okay. Meaning they were willing to go as far as they needed to go to ensure their lives stay how it needs to stay. Okay. Closed door. The risk versus the reward. Mhm. The risk was them trying to prove a point that you weren't who you said you were. That was the risk that they were trying to take. And they took the risk. But you were rewarded in regards to the evidence that showed, or the evidence that they showed, because they were so busy watching you and looking at you and talking about you and doing all different types of childish things here. The fruits of their labor were shown in front of everyone to see. Well, why are you worrying about the collective? Why you keep talking about the collective? Move on with your life. Oh no. And the collective, and the collective, and the collective. Yeah. They played right into the they played right into the trap of themselves. They did. They did. Oh the fuck well. Oh well. We got Libra. You could be a Libra. They could be a Libra. However resonates. We have Pisces. You could be a Pisces. They could be a Pisces. However resonates. We have Capricorn. You could be. They could be. However resonates. We have Virgo. You could be a Virgo. They could be a Virgo. However resonates. We have Virgo again. Okay. Libra, Aquarius, Capricorn, Scorpio was in here. I think Scorpio was the only card I pulled. Let me make sure. Yep, Scorpio is in here as well. Cancer, this is Cancer. The moon is Cancer. And I think that was it. Yes. So if that resonates, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll be back on later for another live. Yes, I will be. And all orders from the Black Friday and Cyber Monday will be shipped out tomorrow. All right. So definitely check out. Make sure if you purchase from me, thank you so much for your support. It's truly appreciated. Look out for your tracking number as of tomorrow. Okay. So again, if you would like to join us in the group, it is called Wisdom Beyond Wounds. You can grab the book on Amazon and you can join us on our Facebook group as well too. Okay. Thank you so much for your immense support. It is truly appreciated. Love to you guys. And I'm gonna take care. I'm gonna take care. You take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Thank y'all for the gifts. Mwah. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you. Love you.